This is what I imagine this game's going to go like. All of a sudden, I'm going to turn my back, and then Thomas is just going to push my ass down an elevator shaft like Holy shit.
I don't know this one.
Jesus Christ.
Nate,
That first one, what the hell?
Oh my
Marianne was
God.
on an episode of Scared Straight.
Marianne deals crack cocaine.
Confession time, everybody. A lot of you were wondering, hey, how come you didn't react to Hercules versus Sun Wukong death battle? Me and Chad did, but do you want to know what it was like? It was a lot like this. You get the point?
I couldn't hear anything.
Exactly. And it was
I
because
couldn't hear anything because he actually wasn't saying.
No, I really wasn't. I was miming it as best I could. And if you tried to like figure out what I was mouthing, you're just gonna get nothing but a bunch of jumbled words because I wasn't actually saying anything. And all of a sudden, it's just like the teacher says something like very angry. It's like, like, damn.
Jesus Christ! Okay, I'll go.
It's like, okay, I'll go to detention. I'm sorry. So yeah, Hercules versus Sun Wukong, and Nick has not seen this. I have already seen this. And it's by no fault of it. I mean...
Oh, actually, by the way, the one thing I have seen a lot of other people asking is why we haven't done the one with Omni-Man.
Oh, let's go ahead and clear the air on that.
People are like, oh, it only spoils the comics. And I'm like, the show just got confirmed for seasons 2 and 3, you know? Like,
yeah.
Spoiling the comic spoils the show. I'm not that kind of person that likes to read ahead on something I've already started watching.
Me neither. And for people out there who will just say, well, watch it anyway.
No.
It's like, that's not how this works, guys.
Send me $10,000 and I'll react to it.
There you go.
How about that?
Okay.
They'll be like, $10,000. That's a ridiculous thing to ask. And it's like, then stop asking me ridiculous things like to spoil shows.
Oh, wow.
For
A ridiculous thing to ask. Isn't that amazing? Forcing us to watch something we don't want to watch.
No, if someone actually sends me $10,000, I'll actually react to it because that's good compensation for me knowing what happens.
You send me $10,000, I will basically I'll watch all of Mad Bull 34 in one sitting, and I won't pause the video once. I will do that.
I wouldn't submit to something like that. You know, like I would commit to something that's not like a horribly stressful act. Like, it's like if you want me to, like, I mean, $1 million, sure, watch all of it in one sitting, no pauses. Like, because I mean, you're gonna have to have a cup and like pee on video and stuff if you do something like that. Right?
I got the resistance of a camel.
How long is the show?
See, Mad Bull 34. How many episodes were there in Mad Bull 34? Let's take a look and see.
Because if it's more than like 12 episodes, like, that's bad for your urinary tract to hold it that long.
Let's see. OVA, 4 episodes.
It's only 4 episodes, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Dude, that's not bad at all.
No.
Even if it's horrible, that's not bad.
No.
That's only a waste of like a few hours of your time.
So.
I'd do that for $1,000.
Yeah, so here's the crazy thing about Mad Bull 34. The guy who... Oh, God. That image, I'm never going to get it out of my head the first time I saw it. When the guy came up with this, he designed the main guy, Sleepy, Mad Bull, to look like Freddie Mercury. Because he associated Freddie Mercury with, like, super macho kind of guy. And I'm like, this guy did not know Freddie Mercury. I'm sorry, but Freddie was many things. Uber super macho man, he was not. Sorry, but anyway, to get back on topic, 2 legends of mythology, Hercules versus Sun Wukong. So, yeah, both of these characters are modern-day inspirations for various forms of media. I mean, Sun Wukong is the primary inspiration behind Goku, And Hercules is a primary inspiration behind a lot of Western media as well. I mean, there's
Kratos.
Oh yeah, Kratos, which
Kratos murders Hercules and like.
But again, one of the primary
at some point.
But Kratos' primary story is still like the trials of Hercules. Like his labors, and basically it's the same deal. You do this to basically earn the forgiveness of the gods, and again,
then when that doesn't work out, you just kill all of them because fuck them.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Well, here's the thing. At the end of the first God of War game, they did win, or they did basically forgive him, and they made him the new God of War. But the problem was, if you actually played the in-between games, Ghost of Sparta and Betrayal, you'll see why he acts the way that he does at the end or in the beginning of God of War 2 is because of the whole situation with Kratos' brother and the fact that the gods turned a blind eye to it. It's basically gives good reason why Kratos did what he did. But either way, Hercules and Sun Wukong are two very, very big members of inspirational lore. And I guess I know how this is going to turn out. I'm going to refrain from making a prediction, but I will leave it up to Nick. And I guess I
know lots about Hercules, but I don't know much about Wukong. So.
Well, Sun Wukong and his Journey to the West story that was basic. That's actually a lot of people know him for Journey to the West, but that was basically his redemption arc. It wasn't actually it was one of his main story arcs, but it's not the whole story. There's a lot to it.
I basically just know things from context from seeing him in media, but I don't know any factual things 100% about him.
Well,
I know he uses a shtick.
Oh yeah,
his shtick can extend.
And you'll see. There's a lot to that. Anyway, here we go. This is Hercules vs. Sun Wukong Death Battle. Here we go.
Hercules, the god of strength. Sun Wukong.
Oh, and I believe he can make copies of himself as well.
Yes.
But few overcome their past to become.
Sun Wukong, he can create copies from his hair.
He's wears an iron boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. He's the man, the myth, the legend. He's Hercules. Stories of Hercules exist in many iterations.
Oh God, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
The legend of Heracles.
No Disney Zero to Hero, just the classic Greek myth. And like most ancient Greek stories, it began with Zeus being a total creep.
The god of thunder did his thing with a princess by disguising himself as her husband.
Oh, what the hell, man?
And thus a demigod was born, who was named Alcaeus.
But Hera was pretty pissed Zeus had cheated on her yet again, so Alcaeus' human parents renamed him in her honor. Yep, Heracles means glory to Hera. Too bad she had already made up her mind though, and that kid was gonna pay.
The child would need some way to survive Hera's wrath, so the goddess of heroes carried out a plan that was frankly insane. Athena tricked Hera into nursing the baby Heracles, and her milk gave him supernatural strength unbound, even beyond many of the gods themselves.
So strong that he hurt her and caused her to spray milk all over the place like a boob sprinkler, which in turn created the galaxy. Yep, that's why we call it the Milky Way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, again, I remembered hearing about that back when I was in school, and also the whole thing is milk being one of the primary driving factors behind the naming of our galaxy. Galactic, lactic, milk. That's
really
again, no.
That's not just a coincidence.
Not really, no.
What the fuck?
Again. If you want more info on it, we can't divulge here, but...
I would just assume galactic came from galaxy, and therefore that's just a coincidence that lactic isn't
You think that?
in that word.
No, apparently not. if you want more info on it, Michael from Vsauce has a good video on it. You can check that out, and he can explain it a lot better than I ever could because, you know, he's sort of a big deal, and I'm not. Anyway.
Oh god, I'm never eating one of those candy bars again.
Shut up, Boomstick.
Hercules became a fierce warrior.
Yes, Ryan Gosling is young Hercules.
All of Greece. Unfortunately, he wasn't without problems. While he was a natural at boxing, wrestling, fencing, and so much more, he struggled in the arts.
He even had a fit and accidentally
That was
killed
Ryan
his
Gosling?
music teacher.
Yes,
Hercules?
Ryan Gosling played young Hercules.
Did he also play Andy Brink?
No, that was
Because he looks similar to Brink.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about, but no, that was not him.
Okay.
But he was in the Mickey Mouse Club. That is one thing. That's where a lot of big stars and starlets from yesteryear got their start. I mean,
Ryan Gosling playing you? Ridiculous.
Please know, this was a sign of the tragedy to come. Many years later, as his name began to be synonymous with the term hero, he murdered his wife, Princess Megara, and their sons.
Yeah, Hera had magically driven him into a kill frenzy rage, but that didn't excuse it for Herc. His guilt was there.
Desperate to atone, he sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi and learned his path to redemption. He would submit himself to King Eurystheus and perform for him 10 grueling labors.
The guy was a D-bag, but Herc did what he had to, and through his struggles built a killer arsenal.
For his first labor, he was tasked with slaying a lion whose hide could not be pierced by any blade.
So Herc just beat the lion to death with his bare hands and took the pelt as armor for himself.
He defeated a flock of metal, man-eating birds with cortalas so loud no living thing could bear the noise. He battled a multi-headed hydra, cauterizing its necks
Hydra's one of my favorites.
so the heads would not grow back.
A lot of sliced off heads meant a lot of blood spilled, and Hydra...
again, the whole thing with the Hydra, a lot of people didn't know how Hercules, because they didn't really show it in the animated movie, how he defeated the Hydra.
Yeah.
Like, according to the old legend, they crushed it under a bunch of rocks, which killed it, but he sliced off its head and cauterized the wound.
See, we learned a lot about Greek mythology as much as a school would teach you, you know. They didn't throw in a lot of the sexual stuff, so we didn't learn that until... I didn't learn a lot of that until later on when Wikipedia was a thing, and I was just looking it up myself, but... that was one part in school I remember being like, this stuff is awesome. Like, why can't all history and stuff be like Greek mythology, you know? Like, I was very interested, and the Hydra was one of my favorite things, and so whenever God of War came out, I was very hyped that one of the very first things you encounter in that game is a Hydra. I was just like, this game's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Blood is
And then you get to see
extra
boobies,
poisonous.
like, right after
Even
that.
God's
Oh,
spirit.
yeah.
So Herc...
And then there's the infamous, love-making minigame, which the first 3 God of War games had, and I understand why it's not in the more recent ones, but I still think it's very funny.
I think story-wise, it definitely makes Kratos a little more likable that it's not in the more recent ones.
Yeah.
The most recent one.
Well, Kratos is more of an anti-hero in the 3 early God of War games, whereas in 4...
Also, I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, Greek culture was a little more promiscuous and free.
To an extent, yes.
Norse Viking culture was a little more based on monogamy and loyalty, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I know they would, obviously, when they invaded, they would do horrible things to the women of the...
Oh, not only that, but they would also...
I think they still frowned upon cheating on your wife and stuff.
To an extent, but at the same time, if it depended on the sect that you were part of, because there were certain pagan rituals that basically resulted in orgies. They touched on that a little bit in the Northman movie that came out not too long ago, the one with Alexander Skarsgård, where he's the Viking. Yeah, he's Emilet and gets revenge. They touched on it a little bit, and they showed a fair amount, but not enough to really. It definitely lets you know there's some fucked up shit going on.
I just think it would be a little weird for Kratos, having just very recently lost his wife, and trying to be a good dad of boy to just go off banging random hoes at that point, you know.
Well, again, I guess it's just showing Kratos.
Maybe if he was not
maturing.
If he was not trying to be dad of boy, I could see him burying some of his sorrows in some poon. But
yeah, you know, well, again, it just goes to show the growth of the character that I like. Yeah. I like the fact that Kratos has grown up and he is becoming a more responsible person. Now, it doesn't mean I don't miss, young Kratos doing his thing and all that. Those games were a lot of fun, but. Hey.
Mostly I was just in middle school, like boobies. Or early high school, I think. Like whenever those came
the
out.
first God of War game, I was, it was 2005, I think. So yeah, I was a junior. Damn.
Dipped his arrows in the stuff for later use, like when he used them to take out centaurs, titans, and even the sun!
Sort of. The details of the smith differ, but in some versions, Hercules was so fed up with the desert heat, he fired an arrow at the sun, the physical embodiment of the god Helios.
I guess that's one way to cool off. Take that, global warming!
To reach the sun, his arrow would have to fly 90 times faster than light.
It's like that meme where it's like, I'm done with this heat, and it's just a guy aiming a gun at the sun.
Bow is about 40 pounds, shooting an arrow 300 feet per second. Shooting one faster than light would require strength incomprehensible to mortals such as us.
Anyway, Hurt completed his labors, but the king was a sore loser and axed 2 of them for cheating. Because Hurt was a lot more clever than he expected.
Hercules received 2 more tasks, one of which required he retrieve the golden apples of Hesperides, which, ironically, originally belonged to Hera. As part of his plan, Hercules would temporarily take on the role of the Titan Atlas, as bearer of the heavens.
That sounds exhausting.
More than you think, dummy. While modern art often portrays Atlas carrying a globe, the Greeks perceived his burden as a celestial sphere. This would mean Hercules supported the weight of not just the Earth, but the whole universe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm holding up this entire show.
The common view of the time was that the universe was endless. Even chaos, the primordial origin of everything, was boundless. Meaning, Hercules held up the weight of conceptual infinity.
Luckily, Herc's got one hell of a drive to persevere and to make amends. Like when he met King Admetus, he got to party it up and was too drunk to realize the king was in a really bad state because his wife had just died.
Reminds me of someone.
Can't imagine who. Well, Herc felt bad, so he decided to make it up to his bro by literally beating up the god of death until he returned Admetus' wife. And that's true best friend material. Whiz.
Hercules frequently surprised others with his wit, particularly with finding solutions hidden in plain sight. For example, when he wrestled Antaeus, a giant who was invincible so long as his feet were on the ground, Hercules simply picked him up and strangled him in the air.
Even giants and the god of death couldn't end his story. Instead, he was tricked into putting on a shirt covered in that Hydra blood, and it totally screwed him up. What a BS way to go.
Yet also a testament to how a contest of power could not defeat him. Racked with unbearable pain and burning at a pyre, Hercules called to the deities who had watched his story unfold. And so, as his mortal form returned to ash, Hercules ascended to Mount Olympus,
where he was welcomed as the god of strength. Even Hera lightened up.
His life may have been one of strife and struggle, but on that day, all the world was left in awe of the legend of Hercules.
There you go. And now...
There once was a mighty monkey warrior, born of a mystic stone from the energy of the sun and moon. Upon birth, he graciously bowed to the cardinal directions and
shot lasers from his eyes. Strap in, folks. This one's a doozy.
This monkey soon befriended.
I was gonna say this is already a wild story. Monkey came from rock and stone. Who came up with that one?
A lot.
Oh, his Japanese name is Son Goku?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That explains that.
Yes. Are you Son Wukong? Damn it! Yes, I'm Son Goku. Just roll with it. Okay, so, anyway.
And rather narcissistically named himself their handsome monkey king.
But after a few centuries of monkeying about, he got a taste of the dreaded Midlife crisis!
You see,
As
the
you
Monkey
do.
King was fierce and brave, yet he feared death. So he ventured to new lands in search of immortality.
Turns out he'd find a lot of it.
Training under the Taoist master Puti, he earned his first method of immortality and a new name. He would be the Monkey Awakened
That game
to
that's
the
coming
Void,
up does look
spoken as
badass, dude.
Sun Wukong.
The Sun Wukong game.
Yeah.
It does look pretty ballin'. It's like a Dark Souls game, but with Chinese mythology.
He also learned a bunch of magic. He can ride clouds, make thousands of clones, heal from fatal wounds like decapitation, and
God.
I mean, technically, Goku could do that with the Dragon Balls.
transform it
Goku himself, no, but someone else could.
into basically anything. A bird, some vapor, a pitchfork, even an incredible fighting temple.
With his famous cloud somersault, he could traverse the world at incredibly high speed. At first, a single somersault could carry him 108,000 li, li being a traditional Chinese unit equal to about 500 meters, making one somersault move 54,000 kilometers per second. Fast enough to circle the entire Earth in one leap.
And he'd only get faster from there. Monkey would do whatever it took to prove he was the best of the best.
When fighting the mighty deity Prince Nocha, his foe transformed into a more powerful visage with 3 heads and 6 arms.
But Sun was like, hey, I can do that too, and then did just that.
Sun Wukong eventually returned to his simian subjects, and with his newfound power, amassed a veritable army. However, he felt no weapon in their arsenal suited him.
So he barged into the Dragon King's palace and demanded he hand over a weapon worthy of a king who could match the power of heaven. Yeah, Sun was pretty full of himself, but
Yes.
he wound up taking a pillar originally designed to measure the depths of the ocean.
What seemed like a worthless rod to the Dragon King was actually the perfect weapon for Wukong. Weighing nearly 8 tons, the Rui Jingu Bang can change size at his whim. It can shrink to the size of a needle or grow long enough to pierce the heavens.
The same heavens that got pretty mad with Sun after he crossed his name out of the Ledger of Death, making himself double immortal. Wait, how does that work?
And even more mad when he
Man, you know, I'd pay good money for double immortality.
demanded to be formally acknowledged as the great sage equal to heaven.
Okay, we've got a headstrong goofball who quickly masters new powers and wants a fancy title. This is just shonen anime.
Now, the Monkey King may have lashed out, but it was because when he requested a place in heaven, a place he truly believed he deserved, the Jade Emperor's court reduced him to a stable boy.
Beneath all his antics, what Sun wanted most was to prove himself.
Even with all the shenanigans, the Jade Emperor remained cautious and willing to placate Wukong.
By making him the watchdog of the Garden of Immortal Peaches. He totally ate that shit, didn't he, Wiz?
Oh yeah, Wukong got hammered, ate most of the peaches, ran around the Jade Palace in a fit, and found 5 gourds of immortality pills, which he promptly swallowed. All of them.
Okay, so that makes how many layers of immortality now?
I'd say a few hundred, thousand, if
Oh,
you count
Jesus.
each individual peach and pill. When he sobered up, he knew he was in serious trouble, so naturally, he prepared for war.
Wow, that escalated quickly. What are they gonna do? Kill him? So the Monkey King proved too
Well, they're gonna
strong
try.
for heaven. He battled all their best fighters and even matched Erlong Shen blow for blow in an epic battle of transformations. He's that guy with the third eye.
And heaven's greatest holy warrior. Yet no matter Erlong's form, Wukong always had a counter. Until Lao Zi threw in a convenient plot MacGuffin that captured the monkey. But even with Wukong in chains, heaven had a problem.
He just wouldn't die. Lightning, fire, even Lao Zi's de-immortalizing furnace just made the monkey stronger.
Now, Wukong is not invincible. He has been hurt by the scorpion demoness's poison, which could even harm the Buddha, an awakened divine being liberated from the cycle of life and death entirely. Now tell me, how painful is that?
Pain is all in the mind, and I am absent of mind. Oh God! Oh no, I was wrong. It's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. Oh God, make it stop! But even
And he's
after
down
all
for the
that,
count.
Sun had one more challenger to contend with: the Buddha himself.
Buddha approached Wukong with a contest. Leap out of his hand, and he could have the Jade Emperor's throne for himself.
Having no impulse control, the monkey agreed, and in an instant somersaulted to the very edge of heaven.
But he had already lost. Because Buddha achieved nirvana, he transcended the world. literally holding all of existence. So even at the edge of the universe, Wukong technically never left his hand.
For his rebellion, Sun was put in timeout, sealed under a mountain for 500 years.
But even son Wukong would find a chance at redemption. In his case, he was tasked with escorting and protecting a monk, Tan Sung Zong, or Tripitaka, on a journey to the west.
With additional companions, Pigsy and Sandy, the trip was a tough one.
Is that where the book began?
Yep, that's
Journey
where
to the West.
that is where the legend of the Journey of the West takes place. And Tripitaka basically has been adapted multiple times, and he is the traveler that Sun Wukong is escorting and protecting.
I'm wondering where this game's going to take place.
I don't know.
This.
And Monkey abandoned it more than once. But through it all, he always returned to shine as the group's powerhouse, saving Tripitaka's life many, many times. Seriously, this guy could not stay out of trouble. It's like Wiz at a blind date.
Wukong has cracked apart mountains, slayed hundreds of monsters, and survived the Yellow Wind Demon storm that could destroy the universe. As in heaven, earth, the 18 layers of hell, and more.
That's cool and all, Wiz, but let's answer the real question. Can he beat Goku?
Maybe. During his journey, Wukong performed possibly his most legendary feat, holding up Mount Sumeru, which, in traditional Mahayana Buddhism, is a mountain supporting the infinite cosmic sky.
And Sun just hauled it around on one shoulder. Just one. Because on his other shoulder was a whole other mountain.
After 14 years of travel, the journey was complete, and Wukong had finally accomplished a truly great deed. For this, he was given his long-awaited place among the heavens.
As the victorious fighting Buddha. Now that's gotta be an anime.
After so much time as a rebel, an outcast, and a truly unstoppable warrior, Sun Wukong had, at last, found his home.
All right.
I actually have no idea which one it's going to be.
Run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Okay.
So I think I'm going to go with my original bias on my guess. I really think it could be either person, though. But I'm going to pick Hercules because Hercules has sort of the Batman thing going on where he can figure out a way to do anything almost.
Yeah.
Like, he's got backup plans. Now, he doesn't have backup plans for his backup plans like Batman does, but he can look at a situation and figure out a plan for the situation that others might overlook.
Yeah.
And that's why I would think that he might be able to figure out some way to beat Wukong that everybody else would just kind of not think of. But it sounds like from all of the tasks and stuff that Wukong probably outpowers him somewhat, if not a lot. But they both held up essentially infinity and the entirety, the entirety of the heavens.
Yes.
Like, they're both very strong. Wukong's probably faster. They're both technically immortal, but Wukong's probably more immortal, so, I mean, but I think Hercules is the only person, if anyone, that could figure out some way to beat him.
Well,
or one of the few people, anyways.
I would say it, okay.
So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Hercules, but I don't fully expect him to win. Does that make sense?
So, I guess let's just hop in, see what happens. Here we go.
Our tale begins atop a great mountain where the mighty Hercules sought a gift from the gods.
Oh there! Huh? I'm in need of that apple. Relinquish it.
Sorry, I'm supposed to find my master some vegetarian food.
You'll find it elsewhere.
But Hercules was not so easily fooled. The Monkey King's strike rang true, but he'd not so easily overwhelm the god of strength.
Well, there goes the sword.
I am Hercules!
Damn. And here come the clones.
Die, demon!
Agony! Agony!
The Monkey King fell into a strange forest, in awe at such a wondrous fight. But should he mistake his fear, he might lose his head.
Ooh!
I haven't had such fun since I fought all of heaven. Change! Behold me, the immortal Monkey King!
Multiple heads. Of course.
Watch this!
About that.
Had your fun, beast, but I've had enough!
In heavens above, the gods witnessed their earthbound selves, and so joined in battle. The god of strength mustered the heart of Olympus, while the great sage harnessed power equal to heaven. Thus, the Monkey King emerged victorious!
Wow, would you look at that? I struck him so hard he was reduced to nothingness.
With a formidable foe slain, stricken against the mountain's breast, so ends our great tale of East and West.
Damn. Yeah, see, like I said, I didn't really expect him to win. I was like, I feel like he has a chance, but it's not a lot.
Yeah, I get you.
Once I heard all this stuff about Wukong, I was like, he sounds very shonen anime protag.
And he is. He is very shonen anime protag.
And we all know the only thing that beats the shonen anime protag is a comic book hero. So
basically.
Or cartoon bullshit. Cartoon bullshit beats everything.
Yes, yes it does. But anyway, let's go ahead and finish this up.
Hercules was among the greatest heroes in myth, but the great sage equal to heaven held many more advantages.
You'd think Sun might not measure up to the god of strength, strength, but he totally could. Remember, he carried Sumeru on his back, the mountain holding up the infinite celestial sky, like how Hercules held up the infinite celestial sphere.
As befitting heroes of myth, they were on par in that they were both incomprehensibly strong. However, Wukong's healing abilities meant he could bounce back from Hercules' deadliest blows, whereas Hercules did not have a similar option.
But Hercules did have one way of putting the Monkey King down. His arrows dipped in Hydra poison.
The Hydra poison threatened even the gods of Olympus, similar to the Scorpion sting. Whether or not it would be fatal is questionable, but it could have incapacitated Wukong, similar to how it affected Hercules himself.
But that is one very specific win condition, and we're looking at this with every possible option in mind.
With his variety of clones, transformations, and numerous other spells, Wukong's arsenal was far more versatile.
Like, there was nothing stopping him from making.
Plus, it's not like Hercules would just immediately have access to Hydra poison at all times.
Yeah, in character?
Yeah, very true.
Absolutely.
Even then, those arrows would have to actually strike Wukong, which would be extremely difficult. Yes, in some depictions, Hercules could potentially shoot the son of Helios, his arrows flying 90 times the speed of light. However, in his contest with the Buddha, Wukong leapt to the edge of the universe in a single second. To do so, he had to be moving over 1.4 quintillion times faster than light,
making him way faster than Herc could ever hope to be.
Hercules held might of mythic proportions, but barring a lucky shot, Sun Wukong's versatile magic, similar strength, and absolutely absurd speed overcame this foe. Fitting for heaven's equal.
When fighting Sun Wukong, Hercules missed his chance.
The winner is the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
And there we go.
I'm wondering about that game. It's got to be set before he becomes so ridiculously powerful.
hold on.
You would think, because I don't know. Like I guess you could set it as like playing as like the god Sun Wukong and just have the enemies be like other gods and stuff you're fighting, but I feel like it'd be better if there's a build-up of some kind, you know?
It's not really giving any explanation as to like any of the people working on it.
Also found it weird that they're doing it like a Souls-like. Like, I don't know if they mean Souls-like just in terms of how some of the mechanics work, or if it's actually going to be hard. Because if you're playing someone as overpowered as Wukong, like, you wouldn't think that you should have that much trouble with shit, know what I mean?
You'd think that, but again, I don't know. Okay, so... God. I look at all the material around Sun Wukong and Hercules, and I'm just... like, I don't know which one's 100% true, because there's stuff that is made up in the Greek mythology that literally is so hypocritical. It's hilarious to look at. Anyway, I'm sorry, my brain's fried right now. I'm all over the place.
It happens.
Yeah, my mom and Kate and all that happening, plus the fact that I'm a little tired. Anyway, I guess that's going to do it, everyone. This was Hercules, or Heracles, versus Sun Wukong. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and if you want to see more from Death Battle, click their name in the title of the video. If you want to see more from us, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
See you later, everybody. Peace.